Hello lovelies. So I have a bit of a different video for you today. And this is something I've been thinking about recording for a while, and it's been on my mind for a while. And I wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys about something that is important to me, and I hope that as my subscribers, I'm not perpetuating this, and I just wanted to kind of put aside uh, everything for a second, tutorials and wraps and all that kind of stuff, because I do a lot of unboxing and I talk to you guys about a lot of products, and I just want to talk for a minute about why you don't need to buy that. So I did some notes for this video, and I actually was writing all this stuff down. I had all the stuff on my phone, and I was going to do like a big list, and I realized I was approaching this a little bit the way that I approach a lot of the stuff in my life, which is to turn it into a research project, because once you're an academic, you're always an academic. And certainly the world of museums is that of an academic world. And I realized that I didn't want this to be a list thing. I didn't want this to be sort of an inauthentic, here's why I think this, here's my like thesis sort of video. So I put that aside, and I just wanted to take a moment then to talk and ramble a little bit about this, because it's something that's been on my mind and bothering me a little bit. And I just want to make sure that my channel doesn't kind of roll itself into the sort of mass consumerism you see in the beauty community with makeup, especially on YouTube. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about why you don't need to buy that. One of my favorite things to do is to sit and watch YouTube videos of other online beauty gurus and get ideas and inspirations. For example, I just got the Christian Leanne Kaleidoscope Dream Palette from Urban Decay because it was on sale, and I totally am rocking an eye look today that was inspired by Raw Beauty Christie, who's one of my absolute favorite beauty sort of personalities on YouTube. I linked her channel in the description box if you're interested. She's really awesome and doesn't sort of perpetuate into this. And this is not a video to sit here and bash channels, other channels, larger channels. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do any of that because I abhor drama. I am not a drama channel, and I'm not about to start that kind of stuff. But what I do want to bring sort of attention to is, and I see it a lot lately, is, you know, this is my holy grail, or I'm obsessed with this, or drop everything you're doing and go buy this right now. Especially, you know, that kind of language on sponsored videos or products that were given for free. I'm not saying that those aren't honest opinions, but it's also difficult because it perpetuates into this consistent buy, consume. And I see that so much in the beauty community, with makeup companies who won't stop launching new releases. Like, we're up to like 4 or 5 new releases like every year, limited edition, and then it becomes regular and go buy. It's getting a little ridiculous. When I first started getting into YouTube and getting into makeup, I was falling down that rabbit hole. I would see something on one of my favorite channels and I would be like, oh, I need to go buy this, it's amazing. I wasn't taking a moment to make sure, one, I didn't already have it, that this would actually work for my skin tone or for what I do. I would just go buy it because I was seeing these products on people and I was seeing the things I loved, and I was just going to get them without really thinking. And before I knew it, I had this huge makeup collection of makeup that either, you know, I'm never going to get through before it expires, or it's something that maybe I'll use once or twice, but I'm not really going to use a lot. And you know, I had to do a big declutter, and I'm sort of in this stage, both with clothes and all this sort of stuff, trying to be really conscientious of what I own, trying to donate and get rid of stuff that I'm not using, because I don't want to clutter up my life and take up all this space. You know, I don't want to have clothes I haven't worn for 2 years in my closet, and I don't want to have like 30 tubes of the same color lipstick. Like, how many tubes of lipstick do you guys have? Like, I challenge you, go out and count. And if you're like me, you probably have like 30 variations of the same nude pink lipstick in different formulas. So I turned around and I was consuming and consuming and consuming, and I kind of had to take a moment and stop and go, I don't need to buy that. I don't need this. I don't need it in my makeup collection. This isn't going to work for me. This isn't what I use. And I had to sort of step back, and I don't watch as much beauty videos as I used to, because I find myself, aside from a few channels where I really just love the person, I find that it's all first impressions. Oh, I love this, go get it. That's not really what a review is. I have done one on my channel with the Kat Von D palette. I won't be doing any first impressions in the future because it's important to me that if I do recommend something to you guys, it's because I've actually had a chance to use it a bunch of times, figure out if I like it, and actually give a full and thorough review. Because again, you don't need to go buy that. And if you are going to go buy it, I want to make sure it's actually good. So nothing I've ever recommended on my channel is anything that I don't love, for sure. Like, I do try to make sure that what I'm talking about are products that I really quite enjoy, and I would recommend them in a general sense that they're good quality. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll work for your skin tone, or this palette is a great example. I love color. Some people just don't like doing colorful eyes, and so a palette like that just isn't going to work for you. You're going to buy it, use it a couple times, and then declutter it in a year or two when it gets too old. So I just want to, and it's something I'm going to try really hard to think about when I'm doing videos and I'm talking about products in videos, is try to emphasize more on the methodology of how I'm using, and talk a little bit more about, oh, this, I need a medium brown shade, a dark brown shade, and a light shade, or something like that, because I am going to start doing makeup tutorials, and I am going to start, as I talked about in my update video last week, I am going to start doing a little bit more like that. And I just want to make sure that every time I talk about a product, I don't want you guys to think I'm saying, stop everything, go buy this. That's not my language. You don't need that kind of a makeup collection unless you're a makeup artist. A lot of these palettes, a lot of these things, unless you're a makeup artist, you're never going to use half the product in there. And makeup is expensive, especially like myself, if you live in Canada. Paying the conversion prices and the shipping for things is ridiculous. It's so expensive. And a lot of times, that is hard-earned money that you're spending on something that someone's telling you to buy that you don't necessarily need. A really good example of that is there was all this hype about the Fenty Beauty line, and Fenty Beauty is definitely a great line. Rihanna did an amazing job with the shade range, and it's a great line, and I do love the lip gloss and the lip paint and a few other things from it. But everyone was, oh, go get this. Go get the Fenty foundation, it's amazing. Go get the Fenty highlight, it's amazing. Fenty, Fenty, Fenty. And then, people were buying the Fenty foundation, not realizing that it is a super matte foundation. Like, it is meant for oily skin. I have oily skin combination. And even for me, it was too drying. Like, I looked like a desert when I used this foundation. Thankfully, I was able to try sample before I went and bought the whole thing. But a lot of times, if you're not near a store, you're just going to buy it. You're going to go online, you're going to buy it, and you're like, this is amazing. And if you don't have incredibly oily skin, it's not going to look good on you. And you've spent $50 on this foundation that you feel like you have to use, and it probably isn't that comfortable, and it doesn't look that good. Another example was the highlighter, the Trophy Wife, I think it was called. I'll put in a picture here. But it was the bright yellow gold highlight, which looks beautiful on dark skin tones, but on my skin would have just not been great. And everyone was just like, go buy it, go buy it, go buy it. And it's just one of those things where makeup's expensive. Not everyone has the money to spend on makeup. Most certainly, most people don't need the size of the makeup collections that these big beauty gurus have with, shelves and shelves of makeup that's literally covered in, expired products that they're just going to throw out. So essentially, without going off on a rant, because I know these are not new ideas, there's a few channels that have talked and done videos about this before, and it's pretty common knowledge. But what I want to do is just make sure that I'm stating, sort of for the record, on my channel, that you don't need to go buy that. And if I'm talking about something like, for example, the Hoola bronzer, I love the Hoola bronzer, but it's a $40 bronzer. And let's say you're using a bronzer that you already love. Maybe it's also Hoola, maybe it's like the Essence bronzer or the Physicians Formula bronzer, some of the other really good ones that are at the drugstore. And you love that bronzer. Keep that bronzer. Use it. You don't need to go buy a different bronzer. Like, it's just one of those things where one person doesn't need one bronzer, more than like one bronzer, maybe two. A darker bronzer in the summer when you tan a bit, and a lighter bronzer in the winter. But, you know, you don't need a giant collection of like 8 different bronzers because this is the one people are obsessed with. Same with concealers. Find a concealer you love and stick with it. Like, don't go trying 50 different concealers. You know, you don't need to buy anything I recommend to you. If you are looking for something, and you know, I hope that you guys trust my judgment and it is something I'm really like passionate about and I like, please go try it for sure. But if you don't need it, never ever ever feel pressured from myself or anyone else that's on YouTube doing beauty community guru beauty stuff to ever buy something that you don't need or doesn't like make you excited, right? Because the best part of makeup is it should make you excited. You shouldn't just be buying every single thing that comes out and consume, because you stop caring. And I got to that point a little bit with my buying where I was just getting new makeup all the time. And I wasn't excited about it because I was getting overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my God, there's too many eyeshadows, there's too many things, I don't know what to do. You know, and it took a bit of a stepping back for me to realize that, you know, the rabbit hole I had fallen into. And I did the same thing with a lot of my scarves, where I was just buying without really thinking. And over the past sort of 6 months, especially like since my wedding, I've really been trying to pare back, only buy what excites me, only buy what I need, repurchasing products I know I like instead of going out and trying 7 different other things, trying to see if something's better. If I know something works for me, I'm sticking with it, you know, and it's just that simple. So basically, we did get a bit ranty, but that's okay. Just take your time, guys. Decide, only find something that speaks to you, that you love. And if you have the funds and you want to be a beauty collector and you want a large collection of things, go for it. But don't worry and stress because you can't afford to buy the newest thing that everyone's talking about, the newest thing that you should buy. Just, you know, do you. Do you buy what makes you excited, and make sure that before you press that, you know, shop button, card, or you ring through that card, that you're not getting it just because someone's told you to go drop everything and go get this thing because it's amazing. Like, especially in a first impression review, where just because you use something once doesn't mean it's great. Anyway, so basically, it is the title of the video, right? You don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it. And please never ever feel like I'm telling you, you have to go buy it. Exercise judgment, do what makes you happy. And, you know, I'm here to help guide and help you guys find products and do fun videos, but I'm not here to make you stress about your finances and break your bank and make you feel like you ever have to purchase anything. So thank you for listening to my little mini rant, and I hope that this resonated with you, and I hope that, you know, in the future, I just want to make sure that I'm staying away from that language and that pressuring and like first impressions and stuff like that. I'm not going to do them. I want to make sure that, you know, I'm doing tutorials and makeup and, you know, scarf reviews that are authentic and meaningful, and provide you guys with a great guide for if you do want to spend your money, and also hopefully some entertainment. So thanks so much for watching. You don't have to buy it. I will see you guys soon. Bye.